Re- Rails Rants Reloaded. What's going on? I'm pissed off. I had to get me a drink. Like, subscribe, share, do what you gonna do. Today's video really touches to heart, and I'm pissed off about it. Black people. This is what the name of the video was. Black people don't own a damn thing. I've been on this planet for 42 fucking years. I lived in the Bronx. I live in Georgia. Everywhere I've been and lived and stayed, I've never seen black people own a damn thing. And we're going to get in depth to this. And I'm not talking about you small business owners or motherfuckers in network marketing or doing whatever the fuck you doing. Personally, I'm talking about in your own community neighborhood. I was born in the Bronx. Anywhere I went, I used to smoke cigarettes. If I smoked a cigarette, bought a pack of cigarettes, bought blunts, bought beer, bought anything out of something that I had to get besides the supermarket like a Key Food or Walmart. Besides that, anywhere I went and gotten anything with the exemption of pizza, because pizza's some Italian shit. They make Mexicans. They hire Mexicans to make it after they open a lot of their shops. That's exempt. Black people don't make pizza. Anywhere I've gone, any corner store, any bar, any strip club has always been owned and operated by every other nationality that is not of the community. It makes no fucking sense. When I moved to Smyrna, Georgia, I I lived in Smyrna, Georgia. I lived in East Point, Georgia, and now I live in Walton County in Georgia. When I moved to Smyrna, Georgia, north of Atlanta, maybe about 20 minutes away from Atlanta, 10, 15 minutes. The liquor store across the street was owned by Asians. The wing shop was owned by Asians. If you go to the store up the street to get gas, the little Citgo or Sunoco, owned by Arabs. Any little store that's in a black neighborhood. When they had Franklin Road, matter of fact, Franklin Road is still there. They just regentrified it. Franklin Road in Marietta, all of the stores where you go get your potato chips and your beer and your cigarettes and your cigars, all owned by Arabs. But these Arabs do not live in the community, do not give back to the community, and always put themselves in the community of African American people where we're most concentrated. East Point, Georgia, or Camp Creek, on each side of the marketplace, on the Washington Road side and on the marketplace side. Any little store where you go at 1 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning to go get you a white T-shirt, a do-rag, or just the regular corner store. Not talking about things like Target and Best Buy and GameStop. All of this shit is owned by someone fucking else, and it's always in an area where there's a high concentration of African American people. You do not see these stores or restaurants in Arab communities, Indian communities, or Asian communities. And you know what? I would say, and this is not a precise statistical analysis on the situation, but I'm just giving up a number. 1 out of every 4 environments, neighborhoods that's like that, you will also have your little one Mexican supermarket. Look, I don't know what the fuck the excuse is. No more excuses. We can't say that the banks won't give us money and this, that, and the third, because at the end of the day, that's bullshit. People, especially black people that make up these excuses, don't know how to get funding from banks and don't know how to pull money out of banks. They think in their mind that they think that banks are only for depositing money and getting overdraft protection. So, because you know what, I'm gonna start shaming. Hold on. Like all of this pro-black shit and always coming up with an excuse and the bullshit rhetoric. What's up, my king? What's up, my queen? Motherfucker, you not a king and you're not a queen. That shit sounds good on paper, but the actions that you take are not adding up to put you on that status. You want to call somebody a king, you want to call somebody a queen, they need to have at least a mortgage. They need to have at least a house paid off. because kings and queens ruled over kingdoms. What kingdom we got? The Kingdom fucking Hall? The projects? The income based living? You want kingdoms? We gotta start building kingdoms. Like dudes always talk, dudes and females, it's because we in this internet age where we got a whole bunch of internet marketers and network marketers that do internet marketing on Facebook and this, that, and the third. And I know a lot of these people. I don't know them personally, but they on my Facebook friends list, and they always saying black people don't support other black businesses. We really ain't got no real black businesses. You might be signed up to a network marketing company. You don't own that shit. That shit is not something that we're gonna put on a corner and we could distribute money in and out of every daggone day. I'm talking about businesses where you go to every day, every other day, on the way home from work in the morning. Go get you a sandwich. Go get you some coffee. We can't even get coffee from a person that looks like us when we go on the daggone work. This shit is real fucking sad. And this is the reason why all these other nationalities and cultures look down on us like we are the scum of the earth or we are just not that smart. And we ourselves got to stop coming up with these bullshit excuses on why we can't do something. You got dudes like Umar Johnson that is very intellectual, very smart, and I respect and support. But you got dudes like him that'll say, well, every other race and nationality will come out here and they'll get loans from banks. We can't get loans. You know what? That's not entirely fucking true. A lot of these black people, men and female, don't know how to get money from fucking banks. You talking about opening up businesses. A lot of people don't even know the first step of opening up an LLC, getting business credit. You got all of these credit repair gurus that's coming out the woodworks, most of them with network marketing companies, so you go to see a whole bunch of them on the internet, but you're never talking about business credit. They're never talking about the Dun and Bradstreet business credit on how you can build it and then have collateral. Sometimes you might not need a loan. Sometimes you might just need credit. But we have to get out of this daggone mentality that somebody's always stopping us. At the end of the day, when your shit is right and you come correct, the bank is going to look at you like, yo, sell. It's like, well, what's his name said? Jay Morrison, sell the numbers. If the shit look right on paper and the bank can make a profit off of it, they going to give you a fucking loan on what you're trying to do or what, you know, as long as it comes up, it comes within the construct of making them a profit. Like, come on. But we making excuses. We got the gurus online making excuses for us. Don't make excuses for us. It's time for accountability, and it's time to start right fucking here. Because at the end of the day, nobody else makes these fucking excuses except us. We have Google, if you like to read. We have YouTube if you're a visual person. All the information and knowledge is out here. Then you got these daggone dudes that are hypocrites that talk about building up the black community, and they only talking about building up the black community because they're trying to sell something to the black community. They're trying to sell education. I'm not selling no education, and I'm educated. Like I told people in my circle, it took me $5,000 to get my first house. I don't have my second house, but we working on that. If you want to be a king and you want to be a queen, you have to build a fucking kingdom. All of that other shit is goofy, hippie shit that's making motherfuckers think that they're better than what they really are not fucking are. And you got to understand this. Stop making the excuses. At the end of the day, it saddens me that I have to get all my goods and services in a community because, yes, I live in a black community. I don't live in the ghetto. I live in a nice black community in Georgia, outside of Atlanta, in the country. But it seems like anytime I want to go get a beer, I got to go to somebody that don't look like me, don't live in my neighborhood, will not put back in my neighborhood. If they daggone establishment, store, bodega, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, gets hit by a fucking meteorite, they'll just get the fucking insurance money and go to the next African-American neighborhood. That shit is a slap in the fucking face, dude. And it seems like nobody is upset about this, but we keep coming up with the excuses on who's not giving us what. We are not giving ourselves the opportunity to build shit. We come up with all of these fucking daggone excuses. If you're doing your little solo business or whatever you do online, or you network marketing, or you are contact marketing, or you just doing something where you making something and you buying it for a low price and then you flipping it for more, drop shipping this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, this is, you can't say that black people uh, you can't say that black people don't support black people when you don't give other black people opportunities, and anything that you do is only for you and does not benefit outside of your environment. You can't do that. Every daggone Sitco, Sunoco, Racetrack, all of these daggone stores are owned and operated by people that were not born in the places where they set up shop. I could go back to Forest Projects, Castle Hill, East Point. You got people that been there since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, going into 2020. Multiple generations of people that lived in a certain area. And I guess, and I bet you they can't count on their fucking hand the number of people, minus my homeboy Dre, get well soon, that has set up shop in an area of their own that is black like them. It makes no fucking sense. We have to stop being victims. We have to start taking responsibility. If it means going into your 401k and opening a store, I would rather, look, at the end of the day, ownership is the best thing you can have. Dudes out here, they just looking for the flash of cash, the big hit, the big lick. What's the use of the big lick? You know what? What's the use of the big lick? The biggest lick most daggone African Americans get is income tax. And income tax, to me personally, is depressing because it's an amount of money that they're going to give you back, whether it's $3,000, $5,000, $8,000. And we don't put that money to work. We'll go out and get a new car note. We'll go out and get a living room set. And that money goes from $8,000 to $7,500 to 6 G's to 5 G's. Then when you get to 4 G's, all of a sudden you want to start saving shit. Nah. It's no use of saving your daggone money because it's gonna go. Something's gonna happen, something's gonna rise. And like I said, you wanna talk that king and queen shit that these motherfuckers talk about? You had people, I'm 42 years old. You had people from the Carter administration, Reagan administration, Bush administration, Clinton administration, Bush administration, Obama administration that had kids. And every April, January, February, March, no, every March, around February, March, you got a tax return. You didn't think to put a down payment on a house, look into a house. You wanted to stay in the projects. You wanted to stay in your subsidized housing. You got kids that you work. This is to the working people, not the ones that are on food stamps and on welfare and Medicaid and sucking up all of everybody's tax money that comes out of our checks. But you telling me that when you had kids, I can understand the first year you get a big lump sum of money, you might not know how to act. But just like with the kids, growth and maturity needs to happen in adult human beings. You telling me that you never thought to look into buying a house? Even if, let's say it's 2008, even if you couldn't buy a house in 2008 because you had a credit situation, but you know you was going to keep working your job and you was going to get around the same amount of money next year. You don't think you had 12 months to fix your credit, pay off your bills, put money in the bank, do exactly everything that the daggone loan officer or the real estate agent told you to do in order to get approved for a loan? Like, you got dudes out here like Grant Cardone that say, oh, it doesn't make no sense for a person to buy a home as a main residence. The fuck you say? When you got all these people that's living in somebody else's shit? Everybody don't got money for daggone multifamily housing, but it's better than nothing. You could still have that equity build up, and if you want to grow, you could pull that equity out and get more. That's how you build real kingdoms. That's how you become a king, and that's how you become a queen. All of that other shit is just bossing up for the fucking internet and fronting for people that you don't fucking know. But as I go back to that, you never thought to get better for yourself and get better for your family? I've seen people get evicted from homes after they ain't paid their rent in daggone 15 days. Stick on the daggone door. Never seen that when it comes to daggone foreclosure. And with a foreclosure, you could probably talk to even if you're about to get evicted, you could bring in a roommate. That was my mistake, but you live and you learn. And I'm like this. In Georgia, I have surpassed a lot of people that was born and raised here because why? I looked at things from outside the box and didn't conform to what everybody else was doing because what everybody else was doing, including my forebearers, it didn't make no sense for me, but they tried to do the best that they could. And I hope and I will train my children to do better than me and scale up. And hopefully they will train their children to scale up on top of them. But don't come to me with that, hey king shit, hey queen shit. That shit is bullshit. We don't own our own neighborhoods. We have no ownership in our own neighborhoods. I don't care if you take shoelaces and paint them red and then you flip them for a profit. We do not, as black people, I don't give a fuck about Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, none of these fucking gurus that's telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that. They'll never tell you how to bring up your own neighborhood. They will never tell you how to get rich in your own neighborhood and give back. None of these dudes, not even none of these dudes is telling you that. They're just telling you how to get money for you. They are not telling you how to build in your neighborhood. You want to live there, you like hanging out there, you make rap records, you like to fucking represent it, but you do not put any businesses, just like Marcy Projects. I guarantee you ain't no daggone black-owned grocery stores in Marcy Projects, and you got the biggest name in fucking hip-hop that's a billionaire that talks about Marcy Projects all the fucking time. But I guarantee you there's no black-owned shit in those neighborhoods, in those projects. And they'll come up with an excuse, oh, we can't save everybody. You can't save everybody, but you sure off can give a interpretation of how life is supposed to be. Why you can't give an interpretation of how life is supposed to be in the black neighborhoods. Y'all will go to all these other different countries and open schools and give clean water to this. We can't get a store that people can go to and see people that look like us. Only 2 movies in the history of the cinema that I've seen have black owners in the store, running the store, like the local grocery store. That's what I'm talking about, the local grocery store. Or it don't matter if it's a local grocery store or some sort of black-owned brick-and-mortar business in your neighborhood, because I don't care if you do online marketing or some sort of website marketing or you selling a product. At the end of the day, you cannot complain about the black neighborhoods. You can the black infrastructure of the infrastructure of black neighborhoods and sell stuff online and not give back to your neighborhood, or not try to come up with something that can be given back to the neighborhood. But like I was just saying, it's only been 2 movies that I have ever seen with black people that were in the store running it. Friday and The Wood. I don't remember any other movies. But you gotta realize what we see on TV represents how we're looked at in public. At the end of the day, this rant is over. It went a little too long, but like I said, we need to start taking back our neighborhoods. It doesn't make any sense that people from Asia come to our neighborhoods and sell us goods and services. It doesn't make any sense that Arabs or Indians or wherever the fuck they from come to this country, and when they come to this country, they make sure that they plant themselves in the black community. They'll sell us swishers, Philly Blunts, Dutch Masters, Lotto, gas, beer. Even now they selling cheap fucking alcohol. They sell like the real cheap alcohol for winos at a discounted price. They'll sell that shit in every Negro community across this fucking country. So we cannot complain about we ain't got nothing, nobody's giving us nothing, we don't have the opportunity. We're gonna have to start taking the opportunity. We're gonna have to stop making excuses. We're gonna have to start holding ourselves accountable. We're gonna have to start holding these black preachers, whether the ones in church or the ones that selling services, and saying they're doing all of this shit for the black community. You got a dude out here built a big ass fucking center in East Point so he could charge other black people to rent it, so he could rent it out to other black people. But you couldn't put a store in East Point. I bet you don't live in East Point. I bet you won't walk around East Point, drive around East Point, go to Washington Road on East Point and open a store there and give people the daggone motivation to be happy to see people that look like them instead of coming up with the excuses that most niggas will do, like, oh, they just go to complain, they probably go to rob the joint, this, that, and the third. Rels Rants Reloaded. Please like, subscribe. If you're into money, I'm going to leave a free link from Robinhood. It's a stock app. If you sign up, when you sign up, they will give you one free stock. You don't even have to fund the account. When they give you the one free stock, you wait till it clears. If you want to cash that shit out, you cash it out and they'll send you money to your bank account. Yeah, you're going to get taxed on it, so I've warned you. But it's free. Free money, literally. Rels Rants Reloaded. Like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Peace.